quý thầy, quý sư cô, thầy quý bạn đồng tham.
Dear Dharma friends and all practitioners, for the Patriot Zen's, we always emphasize the practice, and based on the practice, we value the doubt. In order to keep the doubt, we need to ask the questions continuously. Our experienced one always remind us, first, you have to believe in your own Buddha nature. Second, you need to keep the doubt going. When we said that we keep the doubt going, we are applying or we practicing the Patriot Zen's. And those are the words of explanations, the true Dharma of our Buddha. And that is also the direct methods. Besides the direct methods, we also have some indirect methods. However, both direct and indirect are just the skillful means that our Buddha, our patriots, use to help us to practice. If we attach ourselves to these skillful means, we still won't be able to walk toward our ultimate goal. When we don't practice correctly, we will be mistaken the skillful means for our Buddha nature. The more we practice, the more we having the doubt, the more closer we go toward our Buddha nature. Eventually, ultimately, we will see our Buddha nature. Even if this life we won't be able to see our Buddha nature to get enlightenment yet, however, the future lives we will still have that chance to practice the Patriot Zen until we see our Buddha nature. So the skillful means are using our wisdom, our prajna, to help us to practice walking toward our ultimate goal. The direct or indirect methods are just the skillful means. The indirect methods like chanting the Buddha names, the Pure Lands, or any other methods, contemplation methods, are the skillful means to help us to practice. Eventually, we still need to go directly into our mind. As a story in Diamonds, in the Lotus Sutra, if we want to dig for a well, we need to know the areas, and we start to dig. We will go through different layers of dirt. We go in at the beginning is all the dirt, and then we're gonna go through the pebbles layers, and then we're going to go to the muddy area layer. And when we reach the muddy layers, which means we're closer to the source of water. So those are the explanations of using the skillful means. If we know the methods, which means we have the right view about practice. However, the right view will help us to start our practice. And when we practice, we will go through several challenges, and then we will reach closer and closer to our Buddha nature. When we know how to apply the skillful means in our practice, we will be able to go on the right path toward our Buddha nature. The Buddha and the patriarchs always having the Dharma talk in order to remind us to practice. Don't let our mind trick us. Always learn from the experienced ones. Ask questions when you need, and understand the skillful means from the Buddha and the patriarch in order to practice the right path. So if you have any questions or any experience, go ahead and speak up. Pháp Linh, go ahead. I'd like you to talk about assumptions mind, assumptive mind, or the conclusive mind when we're practicing. To the teaching from the Buddha and the patriarch, the conclusive mind or the assumptive mind are the attachment that we have. Just because the attachment, we go into the dualistic aspect of the mind. So the patriarch explained that all the forms that we're dealing with, those are the creation of the mind. As Chung Phong Zen Master said that any thinking, elusive thinking going in the mind, the thinking of becoming a Buddha or the patriarch, they also the thinking, elusive thinking in the mind, and those are the conclusive mind that we had. We always attaching ourselves to those conclusive mind and thought that is a right thing to do. Just like normal people, even though they knew that they going on a wrong path of using drugs or gambling, they knew they are bad habits. However, they still going in that directions, even though there are many people want to advise them to get out of those bad habits. However, because of the addictive mind, they decided to go on that path and thought that they're going on the right path. So when we practicing the true Dharma, when we still see that we are right and other people are wrong, or we still have the comparison between ourselves and other, which means we still have those elusive thinking in our mind that luring us away from our practice. Our attachments is always there, and we thought that we are right, and when it's going along with our thoughts, we feel happy, and when it's go against our thoughts, our mind, then we feel sad and depressed. That is your self-attachment. Any conclusive mind, any thinking going on in the mind that you attach to, those are the conclusive thinking, conclusive mind. When we asking questions and raising doubt, the doubt will sweep up all of the thinkings of these conclusive mind for us. Anything going on, happiness or sadness, won't be able to affect us because we don't know about them when we have the doubt. Just like the 4 vows for people who practicing liberations of the mind, we vow to liberate all sentient being sufferings. When we still have a differentiations between animals and humankind, which means we not doing the right liberations of all sentient beings. Our practice is very special because there's nothing for us to attach to. There's nothing for us to hold on to. And this is the direct methods. It's going directly into our mind, and there's no objective thinking aspect of the mind going on. When we don't have those happiness or sadness affecting our ability to practice, which means we are doing on the right path. It doesn't mean that we don't have those happiness or sadness, but those sadness and happiness and sadness won't be able to affect our practice. When you using the skillful means to practice, you going on the right path, you won't attach yourself to any of those thinking go on in the mind, which means you using the right prajna or wisdom to practice. However, we attach ourselves to those elusive thinking. It's just like we attach ourselves to the dirty place. Just like some people, they thought that they won't be able to practice if they practicing in a marketplace or the place that have too many noises, and they always want to go to the mountains, the place that they can isolate themselves to the quietness and practice. And that is the differentiations of the places to practice is the attachment that they have. As the practitioners in Patriot Zens, we just ask questions and raising doubts. We don't attach ourselves to the skillful means. We don't attach ourselves to all those thinkings, but we just asking questions and raising doubt. As Lai Quả, Zen master, when he leading the practicing in Cao Mân temple, his disciple went to him, and his secretary in a temple came to him and told him that we ran out of rice and we won't be able to cook rice for our temples to eat. So Lai Quả, Zen masters have someone from outside, some Buddhists from outside came to the temple and want him to do some Buddhist work to and he will get the benefits from doing so. The Lai Quả Zen master said that he rather not doing those things, but practicing and drink water and not eating in order to keep the practicing going on. So nowadays, people, they can talk the talk, but they cannot walk the walk. A lot of people, they are like that. So based on our experience ones, our patriot activities and behaviors, we learn from them. We learn from them to practice and leave all of those elusive thinking out when we practice. Even the elusive thinking is going on a lot in our mind, we still asking questions and raising doubt. We are not fearing of those elusive thinking. We don't oppose them. We don't suppress them. We don't try to close our eyes or close our ears. We just ask questions and raising doubts and keeping our practice going on. However, the situations, the circumstances, or the challenges are always there to lure you away from the practice. This is why the Buddha have the precepts or the rules in a monastery to help us to practice, to limit us to contact with all of those going on outside of us. Just like the Buddha restrict the practitioner to listen to music, to see any any plates from outside, in order to help the practitioner to focus on the right path. So when we follow these precepts and the rules, we will be able to practice correctly and on the right path. The precepts in the monastery remind us to practice in a monastery, stay close to our Dharma friends, because these are the aids, the helpers for new practitioners to start the practice effectively. However, nowadays, the true temple who promote practicing, the true practicing is not a lot. Even when people, they go to the temple, the right temple, the true temples, to practice, sometimes they still attach themselves to their own thinking, and they won't be able to practice properly. We having these sessions of questions and answer to help people and remind people to practice, and show them the direct right path to practice. It's just like a person who hungry, they will want to eat. A person who thirsty, they want to drink. And when you are not that hungry or thirsty, you don't want to eat or to drink. So when we go to the monastery or when we attend any retreat, we need to follow the rules in the monastery. We need to rely on our experienced ones or our Dharma friends in order to see the right path in practice and realize our own mistake and fix our own mistake. It's just like a person who doing business. They need to know the way to get the benefit from their business. The practitioners also like that. They need to rely to their friends, Dharma friends, and experienced ones in order to improve in their practice. So as the practitioners, if we practicing on a wrong path, then we won't be able to go anywhere. That's why people said that it's hard to find the right Dharma. It's hard to meet experienced one, a good experienced one. When we have a chance to meet a right Dharma and meet a good experienced ones, we need to use that chance to practice, stay away from those conclusive mind. Even the practice is difficult at first, still asking questions and raising doubt. All those difficult will be overcome eventually if you have the strong mindset in practicing. Is that understandable? Thank you for your words. Thank you for all of those Dharma talk that you have given us.
Kim Yến.
Kim Yến, go ahead.
Dạ, Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Con kính thưa quý thầy, quý sư cô cùng thầy đường đại chúng. Thưa thầy, xin thầy khai thị lại cái bài pháp mà đại sự Bắc Cầu Ư Tỷ Tuyết cho chúng con rõ được cái ý của tổ.
Can you repeat the Dharma talk about doing a right practice? You don't care about the small things. The Buddha said that when you're practicing the right path, on the right path, which means you're doing the big things, you don't pay attention to the small things surrounding us. This means that we need to root our practice in the circle of birth and death. Because of the birth and death, we have this suffering life, this misery life, and all those dualistic aspects of life, good, bad, happiness, sadness in our life. We always forget the circle of birth and death that we have to face with. And anything going on, we forgot about that circle, the birth and death already. This circle of birth and death always affects us. All the good and bad, right and wrong going on, all the knowledge that we want to attain, they are all the obstacles or the wrong views that we are running after. That's why the Patriarch remind us that we need to stay away from these knowledge, all of these ignorance, because they are the attachments that's luring us away from our practicing. When we practicing, it doesn't mean that we attain the knowledge. A lot of knowledge is our goal. The knowledge is not a goal. When you think that your knowledge is right and others are wrong, which means you are attaching to the knowledge already. So in all other religions, they always have a knowledge that they attach themselves to. However, for the Buddha, he remind everybody not to attach themselves to the knowledge. That's why the Buddha, after 49 years of Dharma talk, he said that he have talked nothing. This is why when we're talking about the practicing, that is our big job that we need to do, which means the solving of the circle of birth and death, the solving of all those sufferings, and liberate ourselves from the elusive thinkings of the mind. That is the big goal that we follow. When we know ourselves, when we can be in charge of our own mind, or when we got enlightenment, which means we have no more dualism in our mind. When we still have a subjective aspect of the mind and a subjective aspect of the mind, those are still the dualistic aspect of the mind. When we still attach ourselves to something, which means we still in the dualistic aspect of the mind. When we in the dualistic life, good or bad, right or wrong, both are just an elusive creation of our mind. Our feelings is always there, and sometimes we attach ourselves to the feelings and we forgot about our big job, our big goal that we need to do, and we pay attention to the good, the bad, the dualistic aspect of mind. Those are the small things happening surrounding us. That's why the experienced one or the patriarch always remind us to root ourselves on the circle of birth and death, and we need to liberate ourselves from that circle of birth and death. That's why they direct us to practice and going toward the big goal, doing a big job, and don't pay attention to all the small things going on surrounding us. And in order to do so, we need to ask the questions and raising doubts continuously, diligently. And that is the way that we pay respect to the Buddha and the patriarch. When we detaching ourselves from all the thinkings in the mind, which means we are doing a big job, we are going toward the big goal. And if we still attaching ourselves to those thinkings in the mind, which means we are going toward the small jobs, the small things surrounding us. Don't use that conclusive mind. Don't attach yourself to that assumptive mind. And don't think that the methods that you practicing is the best compared to others practice methods that the Buddha taught us. We just practice asking questions and raising doubt. That's all we do.